Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Falling Wisdom. Today, I'm just going to go over a short two-step method for staying mentally into the fifth dimension. The first is, of course, as I mentioned on the last episode, a body picture, a feeling picture, a mental picture of your best moment. And you need to concentrate on that and try to feel as you were feeling then. And what will happen is your body will produce those chemicals now, as long as your mind is fixated on it and isn't allowed to deviate from it. So you put that up as an initial covering. And then the seal of the covering is the eternal question that you allow your mind to ask all the time, that you let your mind just freely ask, what is my next thought? What is my next thought? So you're picturing your best moment, and you're asking, what is my next thought? What is my next thought? As long as you're asking that question, the answer is your mind is clear. There is no thought, and that's what you want. We are trying to get away from the cluttered, constantly chattering, thinking mind as it takes us out of focus and takes us away from the present moment and only affects our behavior negatively. And so there is no room for it. If we are to get into a better state among humans, we must all abandon that state of mind that takes the ego world as real and allows itself to get all kinds of angry and impatient as a method to achieve some momentary comfort in what is otherwise a pretty depressing existence. And for the most part, you're not feeling too good during that existence. So this is you don't want to get into the trap where everybody's in is that they're mostly unhappy, and then for a few brief moments when they're happy. And so because of this, they are their worst selves. They are not good at all. Even the best people, even the people with the best heart, when they are feeling terrible and depressed and looking at the gloomy world and seeing that it's depressing, and as that happens, it affects their action. It's bound to. Of course, somebody who's depressed depressed people go and blow people's heads off. So what most people do is they just go around and try to help other people get more depressed too. I mean, it's just kind of like this self-perpetuating depression. It is the lower dimension, and it's something. The only way you can block it from your mind and from interfering with your emotions is through this method that I'm teaching you. So you keep your mind focused on your best memory, and then what is my next thought? What is my next thought? And you just kind of walk through the city like that. Just do that all day long. See how clear your mind is. See how, as a perceiving being, you are here, and you're not in some drifted off dream in your mind. Because this is where everyone else is, and this is why they do things they regret. You'll never regret anything you do in this mind state when you're present and you're not thinking about anything else and you're just in the moment. You'll never regret what you do in that moment because it will come out of the sheer being of who you are. And that there's no reason to regret being who you are. It's only when you usually regret being someone you're not because you were distracted. But you don't usually understand that you were distracted. You just think, oh, well, I shouldn't have done such and such. I'll learn from that. There's nothing to learn. It's not a lesson. You were acting out of ego, and so you're acting out of depression, so your action wasn't good. And in a sense, it wasn't your fault either because you weren't in control. The only time you're in control is when you have when you've blocked away all the past all the thinking. in your head with this method I'm showing you. Blocked away all the negative imaginings that just kind of flood the head. I can't think of no other dam for this except for what I'm pointing out here, and it's just you keep your body in a state that it was in its best memory, and you keep your mind occupied by asking it the question, what is my next thought? Sort of like shuts up the mind. Because it's got to think, what's its next thought? It's like, oh shit, it's not just a stream of consciousness. I got to actually have a productive thought here. And guess what? Your mind shuts up. Your mind is your ego. Your mind is your babbling little child inside, your crying little bratty child. And it whines all day long in your head and starts to convince you that it's you. Well, it isn't. And the only way to shut it down is this method I'm showing you. It's a 2-step method. You picture your best memory. You picture how your body felt. And your body will produce those chemicals again by memory, chemical memory. It's very powerful. So you'll start to feel that. And then you start asking yourself, what's my next thought? What's my next thought, motherfucker? What are you going to think now, motherfucker? Shit like that. You can have fun with yourself with that. But that is the most important. Well, they're both very important. You put them together, man, that's like a sealant. These negative thoughts will never enter your head. Anyway, talk to you soon.